welcome to It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and joining me today in place of Jeremy McLean is going to be Sandy Atkins. And Sandy, I know a lot going on over in athletics right now, and the football team is off this week, but that doesn't mean they didn't play last week with a big one up in Wisconsin, and you got to go up there. What was it like?
It was fantastic. It was a great experience. Anytime you get to one of the major 5 conference institutions, that's always a lot of fun. And really to have played a very good ball game. Certainly, they had some very large individuals.
Right.
On Wisconsin, but Troy played well. I think the most important thing going into that game is to try and make sure most important thing is not to try to get anybody hurt. And we came out of that relatively unscathed. We'll have a week off before we go into the first conference match with South Alabama.
And I was actually talking to somebody about that game, and it made me remember the old days of when we used to go to those Power 5 teams and hang in there the whole time. That first half, we were right there with them, battling back and forth. They couldn't get anything going, and it seemed like that. Was it like that in person?
Oh yeah, definitely. It really, score should have been 7-3 at halftime. Of course, they scored late, right before halftime. But if you look back on the stats, we controlled time of possession, and just couldn't get the score in the red zone. But really drove the ball up and down the field, and there was a lot of positive things happening offensively, and just couldn't score. But to keep them to 28 points, and they certainly have a high-powered offense, was a tribute to the defense as well.
And that's a good thing for the defense to continue the progress we've seen. And I know that a lot of exciting things to continue to watch for the football team. But we're going to actually venture over to the soccer teams right now. Another team they're doing really well right now, 7-2, and they're heading into conference week. And this is also termed, and I'm probably going to mess this up, it's rivalry week.
That's pretty good. I keep saying rivalry week.
They will be starting that on Friday night when they face South Alabama here at 7 o'clock, and that's just going to be a big game for a lot of reasons.
Right, and just to real quick talk about rivalry week, it is something that student government associations at Troy and at South Alabama, they spent the better part of the summer trying to get a good rival between those two institutions, and not like there wasn't one before already, but we'll get into some things that we'll be doing later on. But that gives us a good chance to get that kicked off Friday night with a soccer match at 7 o'clock. And, as last year, the Sun Belt Conference came down between South Alabama and Troy, and it's that has become a rival on the soccer field as well. We've already broken 2 attendance records this year for soccer already. We are really pushing strong. We feel like we can have over 2,000 students at the soccer match Friday night. We need all the support that we can get. We're bringing in a portable seating area. We're giving away free pizza and T-shirts. There's nothing that can get students out quicker than free pizza and T-shirts, right? So we'll be doing that. And really just want to have it, make it a fun atmosphere. There's a lip sync battle during the intermission where somebody will be winning an Apple TV. So really just trying to make that fun and give something for the students, but also be able to support the team and give them some momentum as well.
Well, and I'm guessing kind of the battle of the belt, and that's going to be the football game, but this whole rivalry week between these two schools is kind of what we did with Middle Tennessee, especially with football when we did the Battle of the Palladium, and maybe that's what they're hoping the football games will turn into, because those ended up being just great football games between Troy and Middle Tennessee.
I really can't say enough about how the students have really wrapped themselves around the students at Troy and the students at South, coming up with what they're terming as the Battle of the Belt. With the black belt and the sun belt, obviously. But, the things that go along with that, last year, I believe we did a blood drive. This year, there's going to be a book drive that'll be going on between Troy and South. But really a whole week wrapped around of just rivalry things that Troy can be competing against South about. Also, there'll be a wrestling belt, a really nice wrestling belt for the championship belt. Yes, so whichever team wins the football game, they'll be able to keep that and house that for a year.
Well, hopefully that'll be us, and I know we'll go ahead and preview this game a little bit. I know it's still a week away, but not only is it going to be rivalry week, it's going to be a lot of things involved, but we're trying to black out the stadium at this time.
Yes, we will be unveiling our new black uniforms and a new helmet scheme for the game. But we have 10,000 black T-shirts that we'll be getting out, and we are encouraging all of the fans that'll be in attendance to wear black. So we are trying to black out the stadium on Saturday for that game.
And if the T-shirts aren't going to be just for students, those are for
Right.
the first 10,000 people that show up.
That's
so
right.
If you don't have black, you'll have a T-shirt there waiting for you.
Right. Yep. That'll be the first 10,000 that come into the gate. We'll have T-shirts at each gate, and you'll be able to receive that.
And have y'all heard anything from South Alabama about how many tickets maybe they've sold or how many they're expecting?
Right. I haven't heard a specific number. They do plan on, bringing a large contingent just as we would last year. I do know their SGA has been very involved through social media and getting words out to their students about the soccer match Friday night. So we want to make sure we have a lot of students there, but also about the football game the following Saturday. And I do know they will bring a large contingent. So, and it's the first conference game,
right?
And I think we'll be two evenly matched teams. And anytime you get into the conference, that's important. But South Alabama makes it even more important.
And we did lose to them last year, but it was 2 years ago here. It was a great game, and I know it was well traveled. But that was the one where we scored at the last minute with Eric Thomas touchdown. So hopefully another exciting game, and that we'll be on the winning side of it. But
a couple of other things too that will be on Monday. They're having a car bashing event on the quad, so students can come by and with student athletes. And there's gonna be some football players out, and they'll have some sledgehammers, and they'll be bashing a car out on the quad on Monday. And then and we'll talk about this later on, but there'll be a pep rally and some things going on Thursday before the game. Okay,
so lots going on with that. And also another thing that's going on this week at home will be the softball team. They're going to be starting their fall schedule.
Yeah, it's what we were talking about, how, sports are all year round. The softball team will play a fall schedule. They start this weekend. They'll play some two-year colleges on Saturday, and they'll be playing Mississippi State on Sunday at 2 and at 4 o'clock.
So a chance to get to see an SEC school come to Troy and a preseason game really in the fall. So Sunday at 2 and 4. Mm-hmm. And you get to see some of Coach Mullen's new players as well as some of the returners from last year.
Yeah, they certainly are looking forward to a good season in the fall. It gives you a chance to showcase some of your younger talent and new talent, and to be able to work on a lineup for the spring.
All right, Sandy, well, lots going on right now, and I know an exciting week ahead, and it really all starts, and we'll say it again, Friday night, 7 o'clock over at the soccer complex. The addition of those lights have kind of changed the atmosphere over there and really brought a lot of excitement to these games. So hopefully everybody will come out.
Yeah, no, we certainly are expecting a large crowd. And too, like you said, the excitement around our soccer team has been tremendous. And they've been very, very good to go along with that. So, we just need to continue to keep that up. And hopefully, we'll be playing for conference championships and NCAA tournament appearances. I mean, that's just as important as well.
All right, Sandy, well, thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time for interviews I taped earlier in the week. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're going to talk about the soccer team who's been on a roll heading into conference play with their head coach, Coach Jason Hamilton. And Coach, as I said, you finished what you called kind of your preseason with 2 wins up in Tennessee over the weekend, a 3-0 win over Tennessee Tech, and then a 2-1 win over Belmont. And what are your thoughts on those matches?
Yeah, no, they were 2 very good non-conference games to wrap up with, because that's very close to the level of opponents that we're going to see in our conference week in and week out. So, it's always good to go on the road and get wins. Road wins are tough to come by. So, traveling in a bus, staying in hotels, it's tough to find that energy and that motivation. So we came out on Friday, and we had a game plan. We played a new system that we haven't played in the past, and thought the ladies did great with it. Tennessee Tech had only given up 6 goals in their first 7 games, so they're a pretty stingy defense, and we knew that we had to make some changes to try and break that down, and it paid off well. Beating them 3-0, and facing a team that hadn't given up many goals, and I mean they beat Alabama 2-1. They tied they tied Georgia State, who's in our conference. So we've seen some common opponents. So that was good, a good win for us to come out there and a good confidence win against a team that hadn't lost in 4 games. So we were excited about that one. And then Sunday was again, Sunday games, even home or away. Everybody talks about Sunday games because it's your second game of the weekend. Finding that energy and that motivation, and it was a 3 o'clock game on Sunday, so later than usual. So put us on the road even longer. And our ladies, they did a great job because Belmont, they're all about energy, they're all about high intensity, and that's just kind of what we told them to prepare for that game. Is they are going to bring a ton of energy. It's going to be very fast paced. It's going to be physical. It's going to be direct. And if we can match that energy, we're a better soccer team, we're better athletes, that we should be able to win the game. And they did a great job, just kind of fighting through some injuries. It was a rough game where we had a few players go down in the first half, and we had to kind of go deeper into our bench than we normally do. And some players stepped up and did a great job. And, we have to give our credit to our players. We got scored on, and less than a minute later we came back and scored the winning goal. So, a lot of good things that we saw on the weekend and wrap up the non-conference games and help us get ready moving forward.
Well, and you got a big one to open up the conference slate. You're going to be playing South Alabama, and I know that was a tough one for you last year going on the road. You had the fan bus going down there, and you came up short in that one. Now you got them here, and apparently they're bringing a fan bus, so it's supposed to be a lot of energy, a lot going on with that Friday night game. What is the team like heading into this one?
I think the team's really excited for this game. Last year we had 2 good contests with them. In the regular season we lost 2-1, and then in the conference finals we lost 1-0. So both at their place, which is a hard place to play. So I think our team's very excited that we've kind of built an instant rivalry with South, finishing top 2 in the conference and then meeting in the conference finals. We play a lot of similar opponents. We've got very similar records. We both kind of left off where we started where we left off last year. We're both top 100 RPI teams, like we both finished last year. So, I think our team is really excited for this game, to have them at home. There's going to be a ton of fans there. We've got a lot of events going on at the game. We're giving away T-shirts. We're giving away pizza. We're having a contest at halftime for an Apple TV. We've got some football tickets and parking passes to give away. So there's a lot of things going on to get people out there. There's volleyballs on the road, football's off. So it kind of gives everybody an opportunity to come out and watch us if that's not their go-to sport, that they come and support. That we're home and we're the only event going on. So hopefully we can get some support there. But our team, they haven't looked too far ahead at the game, but now it's here. We'll really spend the next few days focusing on what we need to do to be successful in this game. But our returning players are hungry to get a second chance at this team. After last year being so close in that last game, and really the last half of that game in the championship game, we were all over them and just couldn't find the opportunity to put one in the back of the goal. So I think our team is excited, and we want to get started in the right direction in conference and get that first win and kind of have that head start going into the second weekend.
Now, are they a similar team to last year? Do they return a lot of the same players, or are you going to see something different?
Yeah, very, very similar to us. I mean, we're returning 9 of 11 starters. They're returning 10 of 11 starters, but we both, yesterday we started 5 freshmen. They've been starting 2 or 3 freshmen. So, we have a lot of experience coming back on both sides, but we've also brought in some new players that are getting opportunities and showing that they're capable of playing at this level.
Now, I know you've had your record-setting crowd at the beginning of this year. Is there any goals that you're setting, that you're kind of challenging the students, challenging the community of Troy for this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I've put a lot of pressure on our administration and let them know that we've got to accommodate our fans. So we're bringing in some extra seating. Okay. We're putting in some areas for fans to go that they can get a better angle at the game or a better view of the game because the stands have been full. So my goal and my challenge is to double that record. Wow. So I think we were at 865 in that opening weekend. So my goal is to at least double that, and if we can get to 2,000, that'd be great.
That would be awesome, and I know it would be a great atmosphere. It's a night game, 7 o'clock, the only show in town. Yep. So if you have nothing else to do, or even if you have something to do, cancel your plans and come out there and support the soccer team.
Absolutely, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of people there. We love the support, and our fans make it hard to play at Troy. 14-game winning streak on the line, first conference game on the line. There's a lot of things going for this game, and we really want to get the win.
And also, you said there's a lot of events going on surrounding the game too, so you can kind of keep track. Soccer has an Instagram, yep. Twitter. You can check all those, and they'll be doing updates there to kind of fill you in on what's happening this week.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, thank you, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and now we're going to talk about the cross-country team with their head coach, Elliot Blount. And And Coach, y'all were in Gainesville over the weekend at the Mountain Dew Classic, and so probably a little bit tougher competition. And how did your team fare down there?
We did well. On the men's side, we were able to get fourth. We set out two of our runners that were in our top 7, so that was very encouraging for the guys to see that, they can still perform well without, some of our horses, so to speak. And the women, I think, mostly because of me, I've been beating them up pretty good in practice, and we were a little flat that day. The course was a little slow, a little muddy, but they still competed well. I just don't think the time showed how fit they were because of the fact we've been training so hard over the last 4 weeks pretty much. So.
And what was the competition like? I mean, was the course tough? Was it something different than they had faced previously?
We went there last year, so a lot of people outside of the freshmen on the men's side, a lot of them had raced the course, but it was in pretty bad shape the last few days. It took pretty heavy rain.
Okay.
So it was pretty muddy at some spots and slowed the whole field down. But the competition was pretty staunch. It was a lot of some SEC schools, some ACC schools. So the competition was there, and I liked the way we mixed it up with them. We were able to, on the men's side, to, get ahead of Miami, and it's always nice to get an ACC school under your belt there. So that was, like I said, it was fun to get out there and kind of mix it up with people outside of Alabama. A lot of Florida schools, a lot of D2 schools were there, and we fared very well against them.
Now, you say it was a muddy course, and I know maybe that's not ideal, but is it good to see something like that? Because maybe you never know what's going to happen at the conference championship.
Exactly. I mean, the practice fields that we have over here, they can get pretty soft too. So we weren't, so out of our sorts as far as that goes. But yeah, cross country, that's part of the sport.
Right.
It's a 5K or 6K or 8K distance, but that's what makes the sport what it is. The rolling hills, and if it is muddy, well, you gotta deal with it. So no, it was fun to see. It's always nice to come out with some muddy shoes and some nice photos.
And not for the laundry people.
Right? No. For right. Yeah.
But do you got this week off? And what are you going to do in this week leading into your next meet?
We're going to really attack some good training, try to get some good interval workouts and maybe some threshold work in that we've been kind of lacking since for the women, we've been going back-to-back 3 weekends in a row of competition. So we can tuck back in, get our mileage back up to where it should be. It fell off just a little bit, over this last, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. Same thing on the men's side, just to really kind of tuck in, get our confidence back and get some good training in.
And will you kind of take the weekend off, give them some rest before heading into next week?
Absolutely not. No. We won't race, obviously, but we'll still train. And the training doesn't, it's just when you race, that takes a lot out of your body. When you're getting that effort for 18 to 25 to 26 minutes, it's a little bit more taxing. We're in workouts, I can control it a lot more, but still get some quality in there. And then hopefully we'll just get confidence from that. We got to hit the ground running come October, and in 6 weeks we have our conference meet. So hopefully we can get some good training in between now and then have a good showing then.
All right, Coach. Well, next week we'll preview your upcoming meeting, but enjoy your rest this week.
Indeed.
Hopefully your athletes will enjoy their training. So.
I appreciate it.
All right, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to our final look on It's Tea Time, as we're going to talk about the volleyball team and their weekend with their head coach, Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick. And Coach, I know your team battled hard this weekend, 2 5-set matches, but both ended up on the losing end at home. And I know not the weekend that you wanted, but did you see any positives from your team?
We did. We played Tuesday night over in Mercer in Macon, Georgia, and did not play well at all. And we were kind of questioning what we would get against 2 of the top teams in the conference on the weekend. And we came out, we've been working on starting strong, and we did exactly what we wanted to do in the first 2 games of each match. Unfortunately, in both matches, we couldn't keep the momentum going in games 3, 4, and 5, and ended up losing both in 5. The positives, again, 2 of the top teams, if not the top teams in the conference, played really well at points, and we just have to figure out a way to keep carrying that over into game 3.
Well, and you said you practiced starting faster. How do you change that mindset to work on finishing the matches or continuing throughout the matches?
Just kind of add on to what we've been doing, put more emphasis on the end of games now instead of just the beginning. We changed the way we did practices, and that seemed to really get us going in the right direction. And we just have to tweak the practices a little bit to get kind of what we want out of it.
Now, you've got a tough road swing this weekend, heading up to Arkansas. You're going to face the 2 Arkansas schools of the Sun Belt. You faced one of those this weekend, so how do you look at their video? How do you look at their tape and see what you can do to get on the W side this time?
Little Rock is the defending Sun Belt champions, went to the NCAA tournament and had 5 match points to get to the round of 16 last year. So they're going to be really good. 2 total opposite ends of the spectrum. Arkansas State is a really, really fast offense, really good solid defense. Arkansas Little Rock is a more European-based style where the ball's set a lot higher and off the net. So it'll be a total contrast in playing style. So it's just getting the girls all the information. I think that they were really prepared for last weekend as to what they were going to see, what we wanted to do, and what the other team was trying to do against us. And that we'll just continue to prepare the same way and just try to change the mindset of, okay, we've been starting well, now let's finish it.
And it'll be a long travel weekend for you. How do you arrange that? When will y'all leave this week?
We'll leave Thursday morning.
Okay.
We'll have practice time Thursday in Little Rock. Okay. That way we can get into the gym and just get out of the bus and get our legs underneath us. Okay. Then we'll have our court time on Friday before the match, and then the match Friday, and then we'll travel to Jonesboro Friday night, play Arkansas State on Saturday, and hopefully we can get a win or 2 on the road.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck, and hopefully you will return with a couple of W's, and we'll have a lot of good things to talk about next week.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right, and join us again next week for more on It's Tea Time.